Being a self-sufficient poultry farmer is a good thing. Hello my good people, welcome back. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you my story and my journey from a fashion designer to a self-sufficient poultry farmer. It was back in 2020 when everything came to a standstill worldwide during COVID time, and I had opened my shop and I was making and designing clothes in one of the big towns in Kenya. After we were struck by COVID, the business went down. No one could come to buy clothes, and also we had lockdown. So I started counting losses because I could no longer be able to pay my house rent. So I had to close my business and went back to the house. Luckily, I had somewhere I could call home, so I was not paying any rent. And this is where my journey to self-sufficient started. Back then, I decided that I should start poultry farming because now I had closed my business, and that is where I went to a certain poultry farmer and bought 50 chicks to start with. Being the first time to brood a large number like that, I didn't have experience, so where I kept them, there was not enough warmth, and where I built a small brooder, I went and bought sawdust and put it for them to stay there. Little did I know that sawdust is a killer to chicks. The following day, 5 were dead, so I was left with 45, and I had bought them at 5,000 Kenyan shillings. So after a day, I lost 500 shillings. I continued raising the less, so I had to shift them from that place, and I constructed another small house where I put wire mesh on the floor. So I continued to raise them, and they were still dying because even I didn't have enough knowledge, and also I could not identify the diseases. I continued losing my birds, and by the time they were about to lay, they were 25. They laid some eggs for some time, and I found that they are feeding, but the eggs they were producing, they could not even be able to buy feeds. So I decided to sell them, but the breed that I had bought was not good because they were very small in size. So even the time I was selling, they didn't fetch a lot of money. So in short, I counted losses, but I didn't lose hope. Now I went ahead and bought another bunch. This time 100 chicks from somebody else. I went for them and started brooding my chicks. With the little knowledge, I started now doing research on how to raise my chicks. Unfortunately, I started with feeding my chicks with low quality feeds because I didn't know which company to buy quality feeds. Let me tell you my friends, my chicks started falling one by one until I called a vet to check on them because I found that I will lose all. So I was advised on medications, and I bought drugs, and they were okay. Due to lack of knowledge, and that is why I always advise anyone who wants to start poultry farming first to get enough knowledge. I continued with my business so I could wake up in the morning and find 1 or 2 chicken dead. So by the time they were starting to lay, I had lost half of the flock. I felt so sad and I almost gave up. But due to watching so many YouTube videos about poultry and the way people had lost so many chickens, I decided I should continue. So I raised my chicken until they started laying. And at this time, Now I have started gaining a lot of knowledge, and so they reached a point they no longer died, and they started laying, and I started selling eggs. And my eggs here, and my eggs were so many, I decided to look for an incubator so that I can hatch my own chicks and cut cost for buying chicks. And that is what I did. And the first bunch, I put 100 eggs in my incubator and got 85 chicks. And at this time, I didn't know how to select the eggs for incubation, so I used to put all eggs in the incubator. So sometimes would hatch, others don't. So when people were coming to buy eggs for incubating, I could see them checking, and that is when I learned how to check, and now I'm okay. Now the second bunch at the center, we are left 50 chickens, so I had to sell the excess cocks, and I remained with these ones at the center, and they laid eggs, and you can see these ones in the upper compartment were the first ones to hatch for myself, and you can see the mortality was very low. After now getting knowledge, so I had to sell the cocks and remained with the enough ones. In every 7 to 10 hens is one cock. Now you can see, now I'm growing my farm, and I can now sell eggs, chicks, and also cocks for meat. So what I can urge you who is starting, never lose hope. Continue pressing on until you make it. Now, right now, I can brood my chicks without any mortality. And I used to lose so many chicks during brooding stage. Another thing, have passion and be hardworking to succeed in poultry farming. Now I can raise my chicks to maturity with minimal deaths. So what you need to know is have enough knowledge, buy quality feeds, have good structures, give your chicken clean water, and have proper biosecurity in your farm. And doing that, you'll succeed. This will reduce many diseases. So what you need to know is have enough knowledge, buy quality feeds, have good structures, give your chicken clean water, and have proper biosecurity in your farm. And doing that, you'll succeed, and this will reduce many diseases. In fact, I had counted losses in my farm. So if you are starting and you go at a loss, or maybe you lose your chicken, don't lose hope, because I came to understand that before you learn how to raise chicken, there is always a loss due to high mortality. I don't regret closing my job to start poultry farming, because I can now enjoy the fruits of my labor. But if you are not fully prepared, don't quit your job. Look for some capital to start. Don't do what I did, but with the time I started selling my chicken eggs, my chicks, and that is why now I can be able to support my business. Although I'm just a small scale farmer with almost 300 chickens, I know I'm going far with the help of our God, because I believe with God everything is possible.